is Leparon. I'm a born-again Christian. I love Jesus as my personal savior, and I work in a hospitality environment whereby I love serving Christ even when I'm working, because that is what defines faith. Okay, I really remember a lot about my Sunday school days, but to start with, I remember when the Sunday school teacher could tell me to lead in songs, to lead in prayers, because I was so courageous. I was this child who was so much outgoing, and each and every time we gathered for Sunday school, we could just hear the teacher say, "Faith, kindly pray for us. Faith, you're going to lead us in worship song, you're going to lead the whole church, you're going to lead the Sunday school kids," and I enjoyed every bit of it. This is a bit funny, when I was, I think, about 5 there, I used to tell my dad I want to be a money maker, someone who makes money. I think I just wanted to become rich and this person who owns a lot of everything. So I used to tell my dad, when I grow up, I just want to be that person who will be making money, just simply that. I have been raised up in a family whereby it's a Christian-based family. My mom is a born-again Christian. She's a strong believer. She's a pillar, and she's, I think, an icon in the salvation that I look unto her. So right from childhood, she taught me really a lot about loving God. She used to take me to church from a tender age, and with that it grew in me. I grew up loving Christ. I grew up watching her serving in the ministry, so no one really forced me. I just enjoyed from my childhood, watching her serving God, watching her doing a lot of things in the church, her commitment, her love for the society. It made me grow a lot in salvation. It gave me a personal relationship with God, and I got born again when I was in Form 1. That is whereby I decided I don't want to swing in my mother's salvation. I just want to be me. I want to make a personal relationship with God. I want to start a new journey with God. By Form 1, I had really discovered myself. I knew what I wanted and what was bad and what was wrong. But all along, I grew up knowing God. I grew up serving God, which was so beautiful because my mom could lead me through. But making a decision whereby I, as faith, I love God and this is what I want to do, I made a decision when I was in Form 1. I gave my life to Christ, and until right now. When I was in Form 1, I remember my mom was preparing to admit me to Form 1, and I remember one day she told me she had a dream, a very bad dream, and she was telling me that she saw me in a lot of pain, that she couldn't understand what it was. So we came together at the dining, we prayed about it, and I went to school. And then all I can remember, it was on a Friday, and we were in church for CU meetings. And when we were seated down, I started developing some back pains. They were mild, so they started growing from small. They were small, but eventually they grew to this pain that couldn't be controlled. So anytime I sat down and woke up, I had a lot of discomfort, a lot of pain in my back. You could see me struggling to wake up. You could just see me in a lot of pain. But I used to persevere, and I used to take a lot of painkillers. If I took some painkillers, the pain could disappear. So to me, it was not that serious. Anytime I felt that pain, I could run to the nurse and be given some painkillers. So until this one Sunday, we had gone for CU. And I remember I was seated to my friend by the name Esther Simalo. And someone came along. She didn't have a seat. So Esther asked me to push for that lady. So when pushing for that lady, I think that was the beginning of my troubles, if I may say so. It was the beginning of a new journey. My life took a U-turn from there, because from there I didn't recognize myself anymore. I woke up in a hospital and I had drips all over my hand and my body, and all I could feel was a lot of pain. That pain was persisting, and that pain grew so much. To an extent I could feel it could affect now the whole of my body. And I remember when I woke up in the hospital, I didn't know where to start. I didn't know who to question, but I felt a lot of pain in my heart, knowing that I loved God, I served God, and here is my life again. I don't know what the doctors are gonna say. I really don't know. And I'm having this pain in my back. So I remember when I gained consciousness, the doctor told me I had developed I had a disease by the name brucella. Brucella is a certain disease that affects the spinal cord. It weakens the joints and it causes a lot of discomfort. So according to them, one of the bone it was like it had dislocated. That's why I really had a lot of pain. And I was given some medication and I went back to school. The dosage was too very much, because I remember we didn't carry the medicine in an envelope or something. We took them with, if you can remember the polythene bags, we had that yellow polythene bags. They were syringe, because I was to be injected at 31 kila siku, and then I had tablets that each and every day I could take 24 tablets per day and an injection. So it was a big medication for me. Going back to school, everyone was like, hizi dawa zote amegojeka wapi tena? Everyone had question running in their heads, but all I knew is that I also was questioning myself. How am I going to do it? How will it be life? Books, madawa, shindano, another new life. I also had a lot of question in my heart. And I remember when I started the journey of now medicines and all that, for the first 2 weeks, I really had some strength to take the medication, but it reached somewhere. The third week, my mind was completely paralyzed. I started becoming weak. I was asking God some question. The school was questioning God, because I was a prayer coordinator, and they used to ask, this person who is leading us in prayer, why can she call God? Why is God allowing her to go through this? The question whereby anyone could just simply ask. And it reached to some point whereby I couldn't stay in class anymore. And I remember one classroom was freed for me, and all the seats were taken outside, and nikatandikiwa mattress hapo, and that is where I was sleeping and doing everything. So it reached a point whereby I couldn't walk. So what my fellow students and friends were doing is they could carry me from the dormitory and take me to the class. So my life was there, everything was there. I used to take food from my mattress. The teachers could come teach me from my mattress. And I remember this is whereby we were doing our final exam to promote us to Form 2. So I couldn't miss those exams. It was so unbearable for me, because I used to study at the same time I'm taking medicine. At the same time, my body is not responding well to the medication, because I've never been that sick for the in my life. It was something that I couldn't understand. And I remember one morning, I used to gather some strength to take the dosage, because it was a medication that was going for around 2 months. And I remember one morning, the students ran for the exams. They forgot to bring for me food. Every morning I used to take porridge, because the medicine, like I had told you, I used to have 24 tablets in the morning, and at the same time I'm being injected every day. And I remember one morning they forgot to bring for me breakfast, and I still took the medicine. The nurse came and injected me, and around in 3 hours time, all I felt is I felt a lot of dizziness, and I started vomiting blood. And I didn't have even the energy to call someone, because I was all alone and the students had gone. So when they finished the exam, coming to check on me, I had lost my consciousness, blood was all over, and they came screaming. And this is where by the point it reached the teachers and everyone, so I needed a better attention. So they called my parents, and my parents came for me, but I finished my exams and I went home. When I went home, the situation became worse. Remember, here my mom is here, my brothers and sisters are here, and you just know they are used to this jovial person, this person who will talk to them, laugh and all that. But here I am, I cannot do anything, I cannot wake up from my bed, I cannot take myself outside. So they started nursing me, and to some point it became, I was questioning God. I was so mad at God, because I was telling God, you could have given me a clue that at a certain point in my life this could have happened. I was so very much mad at God, because I loved God, and I loved serving God, and everyone knew I was this girl who was so outgoing, this girl who used to serve. So to me it was a situation whereby I couldn't understand. But my mom kept on encouraging me, she kept on talking to me, and a month passed, another month passed, I'm still not well. The third month passed, my back is still aching, and it took me time. The entire Form 1, that was 1 year, my back was aching, my back was in pain. It was like my bones had cracked. It was so painful, and my education was paralyzed. I couldn't proceed with my Form 1 education. That was that term. The whole of second term I was at home, and the whole of that term I was at home. So I can really say it was not something very easy. It was, my mom could wake up in the morning, talk to me, and it reached to some point, I think all I wanted was just God to take my life. Because I am here, I cannot do anything, I cannot bathe myself, I cannot go to the toilet, I cannot do anything. So my mom used to take me outside, I go, ninaenda tunaota jua, ananiongelesha, tunarudi. I really saw a lot of love in them that probably made me discover myself in a new way, and made me appreciate life in a new way. And my healing came about. I remember I started my diagnosis. I started going to Kijabe Hospital, because I went to Narok Hospital, and I went to like over 7 hospitals. I went to every better hospital you could hear in Narok. My parents were being told about this hospital, wakiambiwa kuna hospitali yenye wanadhani yenye wanaweza jua inaweza tibu ile ugonjwa yenye nilikuwa nayo. They did everything out of their reach, and they took me to better hospital. I used to be given medicine. It reached to a point whereby nilikuwa natibiwa hadi na madaktari wa mitishamba. They tried everything on me, and luckily, I thank God. I remember one day we went to Narok District Hospital, and I was admitted for 2 days. They told me kulingana na wao the disease is not going anywhere, it is not reducing, nothing is changing. So they advised my dad to take me to a better hospital. And I remember one of the family friends, a doctor, advised my dad to take me to Empisha Hospital in Westlands. And I remember this time, people gathered at our place, at our home, people from church, my pastors, everyone, they came and prayed for me very much. And they were telling God, we just need your intervention in this. So I was taken to Empisha Hospital. They ran some tests on me. I was done some x-rays, I think more than 5. And they told me the back was healing. And I remember, for the first time, I was able to sit down in the chair of Empisha and wake up by myself. I was so happy. And when I went home, my mom was teaching me how to sit down and wake up by myself. And it was a new experience to me. And I started thanking God once again that now I can sit and wake up. Remember, all this time I couldn't do anything. I was just there sleeping in my bed, feeding from there, doing everything from there. But when I started sitting down and waking up, I really started thanking God and appreciating God once again. It made me realize that for sure, God, you are not very far from me. Although I'm going through all this, God, you are with me. And I really thank God. Little by little, my healing came through. And for 1 year of suffering with my backbone and my spinal cord, I thank God because He gave me a breakthrough and I got healed from the spinal cord. So I went back to Form 2 and luckily I passed my exams. And the first week, the second week I was okay, the first month I was okay. So it came the second month and I started seeing some changes in my legs. And my legs could swell. Every time I was in class, they could really swell. So I didn't take it seriously because there was no pain in them. But the legs could swell and it reached to a point whereby the swelling came with a lot of pain. And as usual, I went to the nurse, told her my problem, what was happening, and she gave me the painkillers like normal. So my legs started swelling so bad, the pain started becoming unbearable. And I remember I couldn't wear shoe by this point. I just wanted to be in my sandals. And anytime you could press my legs, there was this consistent pain, a lot of pain. But anytime I stayed normal, they were just okay. So I don't know why Fridays are so dark in my life. And it was another Friday again. And I was walking from the dormitory to class. And when I stepped down, I remember nimeamka tu hivi najaribu kukanyanga chini, nitembee. I couldn't walk. The pain became too much. And I just screamed and everyone came to my rescue. So I was taken to the hospital again and I started I was diagnosed and they told me that my nerves had some problem. So my parents took me home. This time they were very cautious and we went home. On arriving home, the pain became unbearable. The whole night I couldn't sleep. My legs zilikuwa zinawaka moto. Na nakumbuka nikiambia mama yangu, I don't know what conspired to that, but I remember telling my mom, in case I just don't make it, I want her to know that I loved her because the pain was too much. The pain was too much in my legs. And the following morning, she took me to Kijabe Hospital. And on arriving, what I remember is on arriving at the hospital, this doctor came to my rescue because I was brought for a wheelchair and I was taken to the emergency room. And when I arrived there, I met 2 doctors. One was from India and I don't know, the other one was from This doctor just looked at my legs because they were purple in color and they were so much swollen. And I remember the first word he said. He asked the other doctor, "Do you remember the patient who was admitted in Ward 9? She had a problem like this one, but I hear this morning she has passed." So that made me, it gave me a mind paralysis. I couldn't remember what happened from there. But all I remember is for 2 weeks, I didn't know myself. I was not me. I didn't know my name. I was in absolute shock. And I was diagnosed, and the pain grew, and they told me I had a paralysis. This was something new to me. I used to hear paralysis, but I'm here told I have a paralysis in my legs. And the doctors gave me 72 hours for observation, whereby they said if the pain could have just gone a little bit above my knee, that condition could have made the whole of my body to be paralyzed. So my mom was here praying, "God, we don't want this pain to go any further." And miraculously, that pain did not go any further. So I stayed in Kijabe. Every now and then my parents would take me. I had appointments from week to week, from month to month. And it reached to a point whereby they just told my mom, "You can purchase a wheelchair for her because this is going to be her condition." And that is what my parents did. And I went home. But going home this time round, I just lost myself. And I lost myself completely because I couldn't understand whereby I am here. I love serving God. I love praising God in songs and all that. But I'm here, I cannot do anything. I cannot walk. I cannot do anything. It really made my heart sink with a lot of depression and a lot of sorrow. But one thing that I can remember until today, it's one morning that after 2 weeks whereby I couldn't understand myself, after 2 weeks, my mom started telling me my name. She started hugging me and I could feel her once again. I started gaining myself once again. I remember now Faith could understand who she was. And I remember one morning my mom came to the chair that I was seated and she held my legs and she made a prayer that I'll never forget. She told God, "I don't want you to heal her. I'm not asking you to heal her. What I'm requesting, God, is I just want you to add a little bit of faith in her, and with that she's going to walk again." And I remember I really cried a lot. My mom could wash me with her tears and she was really calling upon God. And that prayer really sank in me. And at this point, I started telling God, "I want to walk again. I want to have faith like my name goes. I want to trust in you. You healed me my spinal cord. I want to trust you that I am going to walk again." And by this time now, I really had a closer relationship with God. And I could pray for myself. I could see myself walking again. It really took time. It really took a lot of time before I could walk again. But this time, it was not like the first time whereby I couldn't do anything. I was trusting God. And by this time, I could pray deeper. And I could tell God, I am trusting God that after this, you are going to give me a testimony. You will make me walk. You will make me run. I still believe in you. So a month passed, another month passed. A year passed without me, with a lot of pain in my legs. But this time round, I was really trusting in God. After about like 7 months, with the pain and the swelling and all that, it reached to some point, I think I just relapsed and I lost my faith. But my mom was there. She was reminding me, no matter what, I believe one day you're going to run. Not even walking, I believe you're going to run. And I remember one morning, I woke up. And when my mom had left, my mom couldn't go any further. When she had left, I don't know what came to me, and I thought, God, I'm not adding any value in their life. I cannot talk, I cannot do anything. And these thoughts of suicidal came to me. And for the first time, I attempted suicide, and it really affected my stomach and all that. But on arriving to the hospital, because of the medicine that I had taken, the overdose that I had taken, I had an encounter with God. In my hospital bed, I remember I heard a voice clearly telling me, this disease is not meant to kill you. I am the Lord, and I'm going to take glory in this. I just want you to hold on me and to trust in me. And we went, after 2 days, we went back home, and I was here, me with God. And I remember after a long time, after I think about like 3 years of that pain, the Lord just healed me miraculously. That pain disappeared, and I could walk again. I could not just even walk, I could run. And the reason as to why I'm sharing this, I just want to encourage this person who has given up, this person that thinks that it's impossible. I just want to tell you one thing. There is a God of impossibilities. There is a God who makes a way where there seems to be no way. There is a God who makes a way in the wilderness. If God could heal me after a long year of paralysis, after many years of not walking, pain and depression and all that, He is the same God who is there today. So I just want to encourage that person who has given up on their life. The Lord is watching over you, and that pain is not meant to kill you. That test is going to be a test